Hello! First, I want to say thank you for doing your part to help us make masks here for the hospital. We are using surgical grade wrap to make these masks that will make them as close to possible as the masks that come out of the factory. So I'm going to start with the instructions for the 12 by 12 piece of material that we would be sending you. And when you pick up these materials, we'll have an instruction sheet with it, and you can also reference this video. So we're going to start, and having a rotary cutter is going to be pretty necessary for you guys to get this done accurately. So that's what I'm going to demo it, is with a rotary cutter and mat. So your piece of material is 12 by 12. You are going to cut it. Use your ruler. Help let your ruler be your guide. For instance, if we actually flipped this, you want this piece to be 4 inches and this one to be 8. So let your ruler be your guide. Lay your ruler, okay, so if this were intact, we put our ruler here, the 4-inch line is here, and then you're cutting along that line and you end up with this. Okay, so with this piece that is now 8 by 12, we're going to cut that in half this way. Okay, so you're going to, and then again, let your ruler be your guide. You want it 6 inches wide. Your ruler is 6 inches wide. So just lay it on the edge there, bracing it nicely, bloop, cut it like that, and you'll end up with these 2 pieces. Please note that these pieces have one finished side, factory finished, and then one is the side that you cut through. Okay, and again, to demo that, this is what we started with. These are the finished sides. We cut down the middle and we ended up with these 2, but I'm flipping them this way so you can see that the finished edge is now at the top. With this other 4-inch piece, what you're gonna do is cut it in 1/2-inch strips. Okay, and again, you're letting your ruler work for you. You're laying the 1/2-inch line on that edge, bracing it with your fingers, bloop, cutting it up, cutting it all the way across till you end up with 8 1/2-inch strips that look like this. You will notice that these strips separate, okay? And they are not that strong. So these are going to be the strings that hold the mask on. You have got to strengthen these and lengthen them. So what you're gonna do is you're going to lay them. You put this in your sewing machine. When I was doing it, I just started this piece right there in my sewing machine with a straight stitch right down the middle. Okay, so I put that into my sewing machine and I just put this, layered it over the top. There's no need to seam it and do all that. You just overlap it about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. You overlap it and you're stitching down the middle. Please pay attention to quality control, ladies and gentlemen, because what happens as you move down here, this separates, okay? So pay attention as you're stitching down that one stitch down the middle. Pay attention that the 2 colors are staying together. So I just kept feeding that through there until I ended up with this. So what you'll end up with is a strip that looks like this. I don't know if you want to zoom in here or not. It's overlapped there and there, and I've just stitched it right straight down the middle. So now it went from something that tears very easily apart to something that's strong. Okay, so that's critical for the people that are tying the mask. They can't have it be tearing that easily. Okay, so now that you've got these long strips, you're gonna cut them to be 36 inches. Okay, so this mat is only 24, but you're gonna cut 2, you're gonna make sure you have 2 that are 36 inches long. So obviously if you're doing the math, if you're a math whiz, you figure out that we are not gonna have enough on these strips alone to do both masks. That's why when you come and pick up your supplies, we're going to give you 12 pieces of this blue material to make 20 masks. So you'll have extra, so 1 sheet or 2 sheets you're gonna simply do strips on, okay? So this is what we've done so far on our instructions. We've cut this 8 by 12 piece, we've cut these strips, and we've sewn them together down the middle. Okay, so now we're going to turn this over, and again, this is where I'm stressing this reinforced edge. This is what I'm referring to as the reinforced edge. This was the edge of our mask when we originally cut it. Now it's time for the pleats, okay? You have to pleat this so germs can get caught before it goes into the wearer, okay? So to pleat it, do not use pins. This is a critical piece of information. Do not pin this, because if you start putting pinholes through the middle of this material, it's basically a superhighway for the virus, and maybe some bacteria want to wander in as well. So we don't want to do that. We are not going to pin it. We are going to clip it. Now, I'm lucky enough to own this rainbow of clips right here, but if you don't have those clips, you can just use those binder clips, like they're the black metal with the little silver handles, or you could even use a paper clip, whatever you have. But you're just going to clip those pleats in, and you can see how I did that. And what I did was I used this reinforced edge for the top, and I just sort of tucked in about 1/2 inch, clipped it, tucked in about 1/2 inch, clipped it. And so that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have about 1.5 inches up here, about 1 inch down there, because you want to be able to catch the person's skin or chin, and then this pleating will go around their face. So you've clipped the one side. I just wanted to show you how that looked. So now you're going to clip the other side. And this is where quality control comes in. Let's not be willy-nilly here. Let's produce a great product and do some quality control by when I'm pleating this side now over here, I'm watching to make sure I've got even line. And actually I found that starting at the bottom tends to work better. So I've got this here, and I'm going to clip it. I go to the next one, carefully, looking good. I'm feeling confident about that. I'm going to clip it again. Okay, and now my third one. So again, I find if I work from the bottom up, it tends to let me make better, straighter pleats. Okay, so you see how that looks now. And I'm holding it down here and I'm saying, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm gonna go ahead and sew that. So now I take my 36-inch piece of strapping that I sewed down the middle. I'm gonna fold it in half so I can find the middle of that strap. I'm just gonna finger mark it, hold it right there about on the middle. Okay, so now I'm ready to take it to my sewing machine. And I'm going to zigzag stitch just up that line. Okay, so I'm gonna back stitch, ladies and gentlemen. You don't wanna just let it ravel away, so you do a little tight back stitch, which if you zoom in here, you can see I back stitched here, back stitched there. That's so it doesn't just rip off, okay? So now I'm just gonna feed it through my sewing machine with my zigzag, and as I get to this first clip, I'm just gonna finger hold it, so that much, finger hold it, so that much, finger hold it, so that much. So this edge of this strap, you can see is right at the edge of the mask, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Flip it, grab the other piece of the strapping that I made, and do the same thing on this side. Okay, again, I find the middle, I put it at approximately the middle of the mask, and zigzag it up, back stitching at the beginning and the end, and check out our amazing disease-fighting mask that you can make. And when you get these made, I just got an email from somebody yesterday. She said it took her 12 minutes from start to finish, and that was the first one that she did. Once you start getting this going on, you're gonna get them done in no time. But please do pay attention to quality control. So your pleats are nice and straight. You've got about 1.5 inches here at the top, about 1 inch at the bottom of the chin, and then, whoopsie, the wearer will be tying here and then tying down at the bottom. Okay, and if there's any questions, you can call 458-5580, which is education, and you can ask for Lori or Jen. and we'll be able to answer your questions or find the answers for you. Those are the directions for the 12 by 12 material. I'm going to move on to the 45 inch by 45 inch fabric next. Stay tuned.